No, the Rush Junkies were a group of guys who like to live fast and perhaps die young. You know the type. Courting danger, pushing the limit, I don't know, drinking the beers off a cliff and... Oh, hold on just a second.
Yes, I know what you're thinking. Is this supposed to be exciting? I think that was the intention, but no matter how many times I cut this footage, the most I could manage was this. Ha! Made him swerve slightly. The task of hammering this steaming pile of footage into shape was enough to drive any editor to distraction. And what else would a distracted editor do but make a movie about editing a movie? Looking back on the post-production of Rush Junkys, what I will remember the most is the commute. Starting from mid-Brooklyn, I took the 2 train to Port Authority, and then a 1-hour bus ride through New Jersey. This whole trip took 2 hours, for a total of 4 hours in transit every day. My name is Brandon Edgens. I was the editor for Rush Junkys, and this is where I get off. The next leg of the journey was on foot. For a half-mile down some railroad tracks and into an industrial complex, which housed the post-production facility. This is where I spent over a year and a half of my life, drinking beer and spending many, many a night sleeping on the floor. Fortunately, there was a lot of space to move about and a lot of toys to keep me entertained while the computer rendered things. But this is where the working toys were located, and they included a music workstation, a surround sound mix station, and finally, the editing system.
I hate editing race scenes.
This was my purgatory for almost 2 years. So, how did I end up here?
The bus.
A mini bus.
Well, originally, I first met you and interviewed you as being a possible director, and I liked what you did, and when we got to the point of looking for editors, you were still one of the people that had good work, so you were one of the people I looked up.
You looked up and I was there.
This is Dan Llewellyn, the producer. For 2 years, Dan reminded me that this movie was for car people, that the movie's strengths were authentic street racing footage, no Hollywood tricks, no stunt drivers, real engine sounds. These mandates would later come back to haunt us, but mostly me, as the film's strengths became harder and harder to find. The first signs of trouble came on the very first day of editing, when I got my first look at the race footage. I kept thinking I was watching a camera rehearsal, and that I would soon see some cars moving at full speed. You know, really moving. I was then informed that this was the race footage. It looked like they were going about 45 miles per hour, and I was instructed to never speed up the footage, because, quote, car people will know. And this is when the jokes started.
Speed limit junkies, the slow and the dim-witted.
On the other hand, we also started with something like 65 or 70 hours of footage. I don't know how much.
The approach to shooting Rush Junkys. Lots and lots and lots of footage.
Yes,
Tons of footage.
tons of footage.
Why did you do that?
Because I didn't
To
have
me.
a script.
Well, there was a script that Arisha the writer wrote, and Derek kind of used that as a loose guide to what he was going to film.
There's so much footage because I pretty much threw the script out in the beginning because it was unshootable for the budget and the time that we had. But the original vision was for something darker, more menacing, more revealing about the teenage culture.
Did you think that was what it was going to, that was still what was going to happen by the time we finished shooting it? Or did you started to think that...
No.
if we had better actors and better people and everything else, then you can shoot once and you shoot it right. But when you don't, then you shoot a ton of stuff, and you you hope that some of it's good.
So we just had to shoot the hell out of everything. So the DP and I just came up with the phrase, if we're on set, the camera's rolling. So,
With no regard for my feelings.
with no regard to your feelings. And why I hate Brandon.
Okay, guys, we're still rolling. Cut it or the poor editor, man.
So the production of Rush Junkies utilized what's called the shotgun approach to filmmaking, which never, ever works. Having enough material to make a 7-hour movie and no script to guide me meant I wasted most of my time editing scenes that either went nowhere or ended up having no place in the film.
And I knew that there was a lot of stuff that we did that was either ad-libbed or stuff that was not done that was in the script. So I knew that there was a lot of stuff to work with, but I didn't know where we'd end up exactly. You know, I had like a general feel or general plan of like, here's the kind of movie we want, but not enough to say here's what the movie's going to be.
Right.
I am unpacking. Son of a bitch.
Still rolling? And action.
I need a job for a friend. We're down a man in heat treating, and I
thought everything was going okay in heat treatment.
Well, we lost a man.
Yeah, I know, but I thought everything was going fine down there. I thought it was running well.
It's going okay, but one of the guys